believe it or not, I finally have some good news to talk about on this show. For any of you out there that are like me and enjoy anything to do with space exploration and rocket launches, we finally have a more definite date of when Artemis is going to be launched on its first uncrewed mission that will see it go to the moon, around it, and back, and splash down in the ocean as a test of the Artemis SLS launch system. For those of you that are not overly familiar with Artemis, this is the new launch system and mission that NASA has been designing and building that will see humans return to the moon in 2024. November of this year will see the uncrewed launch of the Artemis system. It's going to blast off, I believe it's a 6 or 7 day mission that will see it go to the moon, orbit the moon once, and then head back to Earth and splash down in the ocean. It's testing the whole launch system, which is the SLS, because they need to work out the kinks before they send humans on this crewed mission to the moon. I think it's great we're going back to the moon. A lot of people think the moon is boring because we've already been there. But the moon is also our stepping stone to the rest of the solar system and interstellar space for that matter. And this mission to the moon, especially when we start sending humans back there, is also a precursor to setting up an orbital moon base, much like the ISS above the Earth's orbit. There's going to be a lunar base circling above the moon that will see the Artemis capsule and other space vessels, possibly private spaceships and Starship from SpaceX, rendezvous with it, conduct research on the moon, and be a stepping stone to missions that are heading off to Mars and beyond. The advantages of having a vehicle that can take us to the moon and back and rendezvous with a space station orbiting the moon are numerous, to say the least. And missions can be launched from the moon base and head off deeper to Mars or in the solar system. I'm excited by this. I used to follow the space shuttle missions religiously. I couldn't get enough of watching them launch and deploy satellites, and especially use the Canadarm in space. Space is cool. I don't care what anyone says. And the fact that humans are going to be returning to the moon within a couple of years, maybe just over 2 years, it's exciting. Artemis is a great idea. I'm actually surprised that NASA went back to the capsule model, because we would have thought that, aside from what SpaceX is doing with Starship now, that we would have had an even better version of the space shuttle that would be capable of flying the way the old space shuttle did, straight to the moon and back, and maybe cut some time down, especially with the advent of the Ion engine years back. But I digress. NASA does know what it's doing. Unfortunately, they're getting a little too politically correct with the mission, because they have to make sure that there's a woman and a person of color on board. I would have thought that by now we are all of one race, which is the human race. But I digress. It's NASA. They've gone a little politically correct in recent years. I don't understand it. Space and space exploration should be for the betterment of all mankind. I don't think we should even talk about color or man or woman. We're just saying we're sending humans to the moon, to Mars, beyond. The human race, at the end of the day, is what really matters. But it's going to be fun. I can't wait till November. I'm going to be following that mission very closely. I will obviously post another show in this podcast about that launch, either when or after it happens. Make sure I cover it. It's going to be awesome. As far as the jumping off point of the moon base to Mars and all that, that's going to be even cooler. We can even send crewed missions to the asteroid belt to check out some of those large asteroids and back. It's going to be awesome. Space is cool, man. Like, growing up watching Star Trek and Star Wars, and especially Babylon 5, this is great. This is like candy to me. I want more. I must have all of the space, because I'm all about that space, about that space, about that space. Yeah, I know, that was a really nasty reference, but I had to do it. Anyways, I'll have more talk about space later on. For now, we'll just look forward to November and watch Artemis blast off. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.